That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Leafs win 4-0 over the Carolina Hurricanes. And this was a kind of a game where you're like, the Leafs, we're not used to this since the All-Star break. This is not what we're used to because, for one, the offense, is clicking. We're used to that. But the big old goose eggs, nothing on the scoreboard for the opposing team, we're not used to that. It's been a lot of, the Leafs wins have been we beat Boston 6-5, right? And you get a lot of big losses, right, where you lose 6-3 yesterday, and we lost to the Islanders in overtime, right? There's been a lot of, high-scoring affairs. Now, ideally, Carolina's not a team where they score a lot. And also, the Leafs are on the back-to-back after playing a tough one yesterday and losing to a divisional rival. It sucks. But Leafs win tonight. Ottawa loses tonight as well. Therefore, those games don't really matter. We're right back to where we started before the game yesterday. So I guess I'll take that, right? So first off, there's a few things I want to talk about. First off, the reason we won this game, Curtis McElhinney. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, the Leafs scored 4 goals. Yes. On paper, yes, they scored 4 goals and they won the game. But that first period, 15-9 in shots, that's what they were. But they were quality chances for Carolina. And Curtis McElhinney stood on his head and literally, hung in there and saved this team early in the game. He was dynamite. He was locked in. And the reason I love Curtis McElhinney, guys, and I think you guys can attest for this. For one, he's a veteran goalie, a veteran backup goalie, and he's been around and knows what to do and knows how to approach a game if he wins or loses. And that's what we saw. He played 4 days ago. Not like a normal backup would. A normal backup, a week, maybe a week and a half in the next game. 4 days. He played his former club and didn't really look good. He didn't really look solid. Probably nervous facing his old club. Makes sense. 4 days later, you play Carolina in Carolina. Tough one. Just because you're coming off an emotional one, the team is coming off an emotional loss, and you put up a stellar performance in that first period, helping your team. The Leafs go down 1-2 in that period. What's the outcome? Maybe it's a 4-2 win. Maybe it's maybe it just gets worse. We don't know. Curtis McElhinney stood on his head, kept this team into the game, and they went into the intermission 0-0. And that's the reason I think they won. Because Curtis McElhinney's probably in the dressing room, right, in the first intermission, just like, oh my God, give me some water. Like, my goodness, help me out, boys. I don't know if Babcock went in there after the game, in the intermission and said, boys, we need to wake up. Like, come on. He's keeping us in the game. Let's help him out. Or if he didn't say anything and the team is just like, we need to smarten up. If that's the case, that's a good young team taking the initiative, because 1 minute and 7 seconds into the second period, JVR feeds a beautiful pass to Connor Brown, scoring his 13th goal of the year, and Tyler Bozak chips in with a secondary assist on that goal. Hey, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful goal by Connor Brown. Just a beautiful saucer pass from James Van Riemsdyk. Leafs on the board 1-0. That's what I'm talking about. Just under the halfway point of that second period, Austin Matthews scores his 28th goal of the year, assisted by Jake Gardiner. Now, hang on. Before we move on, we got to talk about that goal. If you guys didn't see the goal, please go check it out. And I'll just kind of go quiet for a second so you guys can go look at it, and then I'll come back and explain what I think. Okay, all right, so we're back, and Austin, if you guys watched that goal, wow. If you guys still didn't watch it and you saw the really awkward silence, I do apologize for that, but I'm going to explain what happened. Austin Matthews driving to the front of the net, right? Picture that. Guy right on him, driving towards the front of the net. Guy gets a stick up in Austin Matthews, pretty much trips him, hooks him up, whatever you want to call it. He started falling to the ice. There's going to be a penalty. However, before the referee could probably even raise his arm up, Austin Matthews, on his way down, puts the backhand 5-hole on Cam Ward. Wow. Just a beautiful goal. You know, we don't see a lot of emotion in this guy. You don't see a lot. Big goals, you do. His first goal, you did. And this goal, oh, he got fired. Whoa! And all the guys are coming over. Man, way to go, buddy. Way to go. He's like, yeah, let's go. So it's kind of a weird one to look at. But you know what? He was a fantastic goal. Arguably a goal of the year candidate for the Leafs at this point in the season. We've seen a few great goals this year, but that definitely is one to throw into that mix. And the Leafs weren't done there. You know, Curtis McElhinney making some more good saves, right? And in the third period, 6:10 in, Jake Gardiner puts a floater on. I don't know if Cam Ward got screened or he just whiffed on it. Jake Gardiner scores his 8th goal of the year, assisted by Kadri and Komarov. Jake Gardiner, 2-point night. Hello, what? You know, Kadri obviously getting points like he usually does. And Leo Komarov, he's been getting a little bit more of late. You know, and just under 2 minutes after that, Connor Brown, assisted by JVR and Jake Gardiner. Again, that's a 3-point night for Gardiner. Unbelievable. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this goal, all right, before we wrap things up, and I'd say how Jake Gardiner is a plus 19 with 28 points. Actually, I don't need to say it now because I just said it, because I'm just so shocked that this guy, how he sit. A lot of people don't like the way he plays defensively. He's a plus 19. I don't get it. I'll take it. This goal by Connor Brown, he picks it up in his own end and then starts the gears. The gears start going. The little feet start going. He bursts into what about the blue line? Drops it off for JVR. JVR, just like the first goal, beautiful saucer pass. Connor Brown tips it back to the blocker side under the arm of Cam Ward. And 14th goal of the year, 4-0 Leafs. See it, Cam Ward. And that was like the first goal and the last goal were literally picturesque, the same thing, but they both worked and they were both beautiful and they both counted. That's what matters. Much needed win. Ottawa loses. Buffalo loses. Boston is playing right now. I don't really know what the deal is there. They're up 1-0 in the second. If Boston loses, we're back in the playoff spot. You know, Ottawa, we're back to 3 points behind them. But you know what? We just got to focus on this team right now. And it was a good win. It was a great win without Mitch Marner. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. You know, they play Tuesday at home against Winnipeg. Laine versus Matthews, round 2. But we're at home this time. That's gonna be a good one to watch, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. You know, it means an absolute crazy amount of love for me when you guys hit those subscribe buttons. I really do appreciate that. Comment down below what you guys thought of this game and that Austin Matthews goal. Holy. Let me know your thought about that, and we'll talk to you guys. Well, it's going to be Friday. You know, we're getting closer to the Raptors come back from the All-Star break. The All-Star game, obviously, on tonight. So we're getting there as they take on the Boston Celtics. Serge Ibaka making his debut. It's going to be interesting. And if they can beat Boston, okay, that would be nice. And also, Leafs edition. That's going to be this Tuesday, like I said, as they're taking on the Winnipeg Jets. So we have a day off. And a video coming out for you guys on Tuesday. Leafs, Jets, at the Air Canada Center. Laine Matthews, round 2. We'll see you guys then.